Hello everybody and welcome to English Grammar with Amaya sir and welcome to this special series exclusively for the HSC students, 12th standard guys, a special request. The topic for today is drafting a virtual message, and so let's get started. Alright then, so drafting a virtual message. What is the meaning of the word virtual? It's very important, guys, you understand that. Virtual is if you look it up in the dictionary, it means almost or nearly as described, but not completely. The meaning of virtual here is not related to the optics, not something that is made believe. Okay, the meaning is almost or nearly as described, but not completely. Please make a note of this. It's very important that you do. So this is the topic for today. This is going to be question number 4A, and it is for 4 marks. We'll talk more about it, but before we go ahead, let's talk about the other topics that we are going to deal. uh, Making an appeal is a topic that we studied last time, and blog writing is another one that we will study, followed by writing a review for a movie, for a song, or any other documentary. This is question 4D that we studied yesterday. And now look at this interesting thing here. Is any one out of three? That's some choice there. Believe me, I never had that kind of choice in my college days. I don't remember any one out of three. That's humongous. And that's for 4 marks. And not just that, now today we are talking about question 4A. Again, look at that. Any one out of three, again for 4 marks. The topics here are drafting a virtual message, which we are going to study today, statement of purpose, and group discussion. Now, group discussion is something that the MBA students are very familiar with. There is a topic and then you have to do an in-depth discussion. So you are very lucky. If you ask me very honestly, you're very lucky. Any one out of the three, which means if you are on question 4D, go through all the questions. If I were to attempt this, then making an appeal is surely my cup of tea. I like to exhort people, plead, urge. I'm good at that. I'm good at making an appeal. So blog writing is another thing, writing a review. So read all the questions and make a good choice. Now that you have three things, okay, then you have to write any one out of the three. Similarly, for 4A, drafting a virtual message, statement of purpose, group discussion, will read it. I will not be keen on writing statement of purpose. I would always like to make a choice between drafting a virtual message and group discussion. But of course, that's very personal. It depends on your taste and liking. However, the topic for today is drafting a virtual message. So let us see more about drafting a virtual message. And these are the things that I want you to keep in mind all the time. So there are 6 important things that you should study. The first one is, what are we provided here? In the question paper, you would be provided with a conversation. Well, it could be a telephonic conversation as well, or face-to-face conversation. And we are supposed to draft this virtual message based on this conversation for a third person or third party. We're going to consider an example. Don't you worry. Please listen to this completely. And at the end of my speech, well, then you can pause the video and jot down the things. Don't be busy jotting down things whilst I speak. You'll miss something important. The next point is, we must mention all the important details, and I'm saying all the important details. It's okay to skip something that is not important. Avoid repetition. The next point is the important details. When I say important details, what are those things? Date, time, the sender, who is going to be the recipient of that message, and the body of the message. That is the gist. What is the message exactly? In short, mind you. The next point is, only the important information must be written and in short. I've already told you, I've given you a clue. Don't go for addition, don't add anything. Avoid repetition, avoid the greetings. Don't do that. It's just to the point kind of a message to be delivered. Last but not the least, the sentences must be grammatically correct. It should be devoid of any spelling mistakes, any grammar errors. Indirect speech, the reported speech must be used, and you must avoid any ambiguity. Guys, remember ambiguity, I'm sure you understand that. Meaning it should not be free for more than one interpretation. The message must be to the point. The message must be delivered very clearly. There should be no two-way about it. There should not be any ambiguity about it. So all these points are important. It is here that I feel that, I mean, if there is any need to pause the video, should do that here. At the moment, please allow me to go to the next slide, and we will now talk about the distribution of marks. Here you are, total of 4 marks, the date and the time. Now that's an important thing, guys. The date and the time, that's actually right at the start, carries a mark. The language used, appropriate, good language, devoid of any grammatical errors, as I said, for a mark. And the major part, the crux, the chunk, 2 marks out of 4 is for the actual message of how you were able to communicate the message very clearly, the important details using the reported speech. And bear in mind that the message is for the third person. The conversation might be between 2 different people. Okay, you can pause the video again. Now we are going to consider this sample question. Read the following conversation and write a message that Kanchan will draft for Amol. So here is a good example, okay? The doorbell rings. Kanchan opens the door. And now here is the conversation. Yes, how can I help you? Prajakta says. Hi, is Amol in the house? Kanchan says, no, he has gone out for some work. Can I do something for you? Prajakta says, my name is Prajakta. I and Amol study in the same division. I gave him my science journal last week. He had to update his own journal since he was absent for a few days. Then Kanchan says, yes, last week he was down with fever, but he is fine now. Prajakta adds, yeah, but the thing is that that our science teacher, of course her science teacher and Amol's science teacher would be same division, remember? Has asked me to submit my science journal tomorrow. I forgot to remind him yesterday at school, and today is Sunday. So I thought I would collect it from him. You may wait a little while for him. No, I have some work that mom has told me. Can you please ask him to bring my science journal without failure tomorrow? Else I may get punished. Don't you worry, I will ask him to do so. Anything else? That's everything. Thank you so much, Kanchan. Bye. Now, this was a very simple conversation between 2 girls, and what we now have to do is we have to draft a message for Amol, very important, for Amol as drafted by Kanchan. So I'm sure you've gone through that. If not, you might rewind and listen to the whole thing one more time, because now I'm going to proceed to the answer, of course. So now let us start, and on purpose, well, I'm going to make this look like the board fullscape, and you will get a clear idea of how it's done. So this is the solution. I'm sure you remember what was said. We start with the date and the time. So April 4, 7:30 p.m. Mention that very clearly. No need to underline it or anything, but that's the first part. Now comes the important part. For whom is the message? Amol. So you write that. You can make it bold. You can underline that. Okay. The way to make it bold is better. This is the latest technique, guys. You can just write on the word again. It makes it. It really, makes it. It gives it the bolder look. And now for the actual message. So you can say your classmate Prajakta had come to ask for her science journal that she has given to you. She has been asked to submit her journal by your science teacher. She forgot to remind you at school. Do give her the science journal tomorrow, else she is likely to be punished. Crisp, crystal clear, and in short. I am sure, guys, you remember how big the conversation was. Right from the doorbell ringing to the hi, hellos to the bye and, take care, tata. Everything got summed up so nicely in this short, crisp, reported speech, virtual message. So this is what the topic is, and of course, let us not forget, it's going to end with Kanchan's name here, because she was the one who has written this message for Amol. I hope that you have understood, guys. This is how you will do it, and on purpose, I've actually given it the look of a fullscape paper. So this is how it should look. Jot it down. You can pause the video. At the moment, we will continue our discussion, and here are some likely topics, guys. Yesterday as well, when we were doing the appeal thing, I revealed some likely topics. So here are some topics. for this particular drafting the message thing. Cancellation of plans. There could be conversation between two people uh, who want you to communicate the message that the plan has been cancelled or changed. The first 2 points there together. Maybe some picnic plans, outing plans, excursions. Then there might be a conversation about requesting a call back where somebody was not in the house, but then the person wants to get a call, so you might have to pass on or write a message for the third party. Seeking an appointment, sure, doctor, dentist, sure, teacher, lawyer. Urgent message, sure, this is very likely. Accident, birth, death, someone had to go someplace urgently and could not inform others, or the people closely related to, and you might be required. Or message for the neighbors. This is a scenario especially with working parents. All these are likely questions. So all that I want you to remember is that this is very easy. All you have to do is draft the virtual message. The meaning of virtual, again, as I'm saying this, the meaning of virtual is not the optics virtual where everything is made believable. Here it means almost or nearly as described, but not completely. That's the meaning of virtual here. So you just have to mention, you start with the date and the time. If the date and the time is not provided, you are free to assume something suitable. Okay, that's a point. Start with that. Then who is the recipient of the message? Then the message, do not repeat anything, do not add information. Use reported speech, the indirect speech. Give the important details, and last, who is the one who wrote that message. And there you are. You will get 4 out of 4. That's a good news. You will get 4 out of 4. If there is nothing really that is wrong with it, there is no chance that you would lose even half a mark. I really think you should get 4 out of 4 over here. Rarely that happens. And do remember that this question is where you have to attempt 1 out of 3. Any 1 out of the 3 questions that you have to study. All right, guys, I think that's it for now. And well, hopefully you enjoyed this one as well. This series will continue. And again, I'll see you guys with yet another topic. The 12th standard, guys, yesterday, I had a lot of emails. There were some comments. They were very relieved that I have taken this very seriously. I always told you I am with you. You don't have to worry about it. Hopefully you enjoyed it. We'll meet again. Do take care, guys. It's very important. Take care. Be fit and fine. And we need that health to study. Take care. We'll meet again soon.